Hello everyone. Thank you for coming. My name is Jongsang. I'm a principal engineer at Samsung Electronics. I'm responsible for Samsung Health Data Platform and Data SDK. We have one more speaker, Pedro, from Under Armour. He will join us a little later. My presentation is divided into two parts. First part is Samsung Health and Samsung Health data. And second part is Samsung Health ecosystem. It has three specific examples, which are Wearable program with AI Vitality, corporate wellness with Wellstory, and fitness service Under Armour. I'm going to start with the Samsung Health introduction. Samsung Health is a global leading service for health, wellness, fitness. It helps users to stay healthy by acting as lifestyle and fitness tracker, health content provider, and some program with exercise. We support more than 70 languages. It has 65 monthly active users. Every day, we help people around the world with their fitness and wellness goal. Moving on next slide, we'll see how many devices do we support. Samsung S is available in most of Samsung Android phone and most of the other manufacturer phone. We support iOS phone also. It means we support most of smartphone, whatever you use. Samsung smartwatch and closely 100 health accessories are connected to Samsung Health. We have a large user base across different platforms, different OS, and different hardware. This is a great thing. Come work with us. On the next slide, I'm going to show you a short video for Samsung Health. This video has a lot of numbers. Please take a guess what they mean whenever it pops up. Yes, what's that? Yes, there's health data which belongs to the user. Calorie burn, step count, food intake, water intake, and calorie intake. You can make sense of your health data, your health with these numbers. It produces a very interesting set of data. Let's talk about data. Where does this data come from? I'm going to show you data sources. Samsung Health in mobile and wearable and health accessory and partners. These are our sources for Samsung Health. Samsung Health can take data from not only Samsung wearable, but also the other third-party accessories like blood glucometer, weight scale, and chest belt. Wearable and mobile data is synced together by Bluetooth. If the user agrees to data backup to server, it will synchronize to Samsung Cloud by secure connection. Eventually, all the Samsung Health data is synchronized across the wearable, mobile, and server on the Samsung Health data platform. Mobile and server data can be shared third party on the user's consent with the Samsung Health SDK. Certainly, the user can recognize which data will be shared during the user consent process. Which data support in Samsung Health? Sorry. These are all data types currently we support. We collect activity data, sleep quality, vital sign, body measurement, and health record also. These can be used for additional insight and analytics. Therefore, it should be interesting to you because Samsung Health is itself a platform that we are going to be not only giving you number, but also insight that enhance your user's experience. You can check each data's details property in the API reference page. The health data is known as very sensitive personal information. Data privacy and security is getting more and more important. So therefore, we follow privacy by design. Privacy is related to the right you have to control your personal information and how it's used. We consider privacy from the first design stage and throughout all the development process. It involves the processing data as well. It means this is no longer just about data protection, but rather than design and building system. So the data is inherently secured, protected. And we have a multi-level, we have a multi-audit organization process. We have to pass our security privacy review before releasing any service, any product on the market. We make sure the data and the right are yours. Adding on that, we have to take care of users' data very securely. We secure data device using Samsung Knox, which is our industry standard and military-grade secure platform. Knox is available on most of Samsung phones. This is very, very important because mobile security threats are on the rise. Samsung Knox consists of a highly secure platform built in Samsung devices. Users' personal data is secured at multiple levels across the hardware and software. Even if device compromise like routing, the data is locked. Data leak is not allowed by Samsung Knox. It always protected from abnormal system attack. Well, that's about it for first part. I've covered the Samsung Health and Samsung's data. From next slide, I'm going to talk about Samsung Health ecosystem. I'm going to show you our ecosystem for Samsung Health. We have 4 Samsung Health SDK, which are Android SDK, Web Service SDK, and Device SDK, Server SDK. Wearable SDK is coming soon. I'm going to talk about in the last slide. This SDK plays in our ecosystem by providing developer with APIs to connect with Samsung Health. Android SDK provides data sharing on the mobile side. And Web Service SDK makes the partner web service run mobile Samsung app. It allows partners to access device feature also. After activating, your service will show on Samsung Health's main dashboard. It allows users to launch your service very easily. You can seamlessly integrate your service right into Samsung Health platform. This is a very cool feature. Samsung Health Device SDK defines BLE, Bluetooth Low Level Energy, BLE compatible guidelines. If device compatible with the device SDK, Samsung Health tries to find and connect to the device very easily. Samsung Health Server SDK makes you sharing your data on server side. It's a server-to-server integration. Once the mobile data is synchronized to server, it can be accessed by partner server side after users' data sharing grant. which SDK do you want? I think it depends on your business model and how to integrate your service into our Samsung Health. Let's see our partners using this SDK. We currently work with more than 300 partners across the board in healthcare, insurance, digital women health, wellness, and fitness. I'm going to show you 3 specific examples how they're using it and how to connect with Samsung Health. So first, I'd like to start with AI Vitality, which has one of the most well-known weird program globally available. AI Vitality wellness program tries to improve users' risk factor. For example, in physical inactivity and unhealthy diet, it allows users to measure how healthy they are by recording the information on the device. At this point, we work with AI Vitality. We are providing Samsung Health data to AI Vitality. And to improve users' health, AI Vitality, with the number of steps you take, you can get AI Vitality point that can be used for Starbucks coffee, insurance benefit, and some hotel reservation discount. Ultimately, Samsung Health and AI Vitality will improve your health. That's why we are excited about this kind of integration. So to connect with Samsung Health, which SDK is used? Here's how to integrate with the Samsung Health. As you saw in previous ecosystem slide, we are using exactly the same architecture. AI Vitality use Android, Samsung Health SDK for Android to get users' data. Many partners use this kind of integration model because they have already their own mobile application. So they just connect into Samsung Health using the Android SDK. As I mentioned in the previous slide, to read users' data, the partner app should have to get data sharing permission from the user explicitly. For the next slide, I have 2 code examples for those. Here is code snippet to get permission. The mobile app just call permission request API with required request data types to access. That's all. Samsung Health will pop up the permission UI on your mobile application. The user will give the permission to the partner app. However, the user can change the permission, so you have to check if the permission is granted or not before reading the user's health data. And then you can read the user's health data. Here is code example to get 2 days step data. Simple. You just call read request API with data type to be read. You can apply filters to get only ones you want. This code has 2 filters. The first filter is the date today, and second filter is a source type, all combined step. What do I mean? Step data can be created on different sources at the same time if you use mobile, wearable, and the other health accessories. Samsung has tried to remove the step data duplication with the internal combined logic. You just call read step data with the combined data types. And second partner is corporate wellness with WellStory. Let's see. WellStory's main business is food service catering service company. Actually, we have provided food service from WellStory at Samsung R&D campus in Korea. They have a user engagement app is providing different types of source around the recipe, food item, and calorie management. We work with Registry by our data, like step and exercise. So we share our data with the Registry. With Registry, give better insight to our users that not only what their food takes, but also this impact their weight management goal. Additionally, Registry know which food we have. They can provide the information to Samsung Health. For me, this integration gave me such a wonderful experience. When I go to the cafeteria, I use my digital ID card to select a menu. After that, the food and calorie information is pushed to me, actually pushed to Samsung Health. I can track everything what I have and how calorie I get without manual recording. On the next, I'm going to share which SDK is used. Registry is used Health SDK for web service and server SDK. So web service SDK, Registry style get embedded into Samsung Health. After activating service, what is the benefit of this model? Technically, they don't need to maintain their mobile application anymore. From Registry style on the Samsung Health dashboard, the service can be launched and accessed by the user anytime. And the user gets some food. The food and calorie information is coming from Registry server to Samsung Health server using server SDK. And last partner is Under Armour. Under Armour and Samsung have been working together for quite some time. Most recently, we made a huge leap. There are a special version of a Samsung Galaxy Wearable to the outer market as Under Armour Edition. This is a very cool feature. So, well, here are Pedro Feitosa, Under Armour project manager, to talk about his experience with working with us. Please welcome Pedro.
Thank you, Jongsang. Yeah, I'm Pedro Feitosa, product manager with Under Armour, and I've been with Under Armour for a while, and I've gotten to see a lot of cool partners that we've worked with. But Samsung, we've done a lot of really cool stuff, and I'm going to talk about a little bit of how we integrate with Samsung Health and how we share fitness data. So some of the apps that we have are MyFitnessPal, MapMyRun, and at MyFitnessPal, we like to say that fitness starts with what you eat. And we have more than 11 million foods in our food database, which is an incredible amount of food and an incredible amount of data and a lot of nutritional information. So we can share that nutritional information with Samsung Health and create a rich fitness ecosystem between our two platforms. Now, once you connect MyFitnessPal and Samsung Health by sharing permissions like Jongsang talked about earlier in one of the examples, MyFitnessPal writes food data to Samsung Health. Now, say you're starting off your day right, you woke up early, you're logging your breakfast, you have some Greek yogurt. Personally, I'm probably eating breakfast tacos because I'm from Austin, Texas, and that's not breakfast burritos. I'm sorry, California. But either way, I digress. Let's say yogurt for this example. I log my yogurt. The data gets transferred over to Samsung Health as well. That food data gets tracked as breakfast in Samsung Health, and the nutritional details get shared as well. So that includes things like calories, carbs, fats, proteins, so those are your macronutrients, as well as micronutrients like vitamin A, B, C, iron, potassium, etc. So it makes it really easy to stay on track of your nutrition goals whenever you use MyFitnessPal and Samsung Health. Now, the integration with Samsung Health and MyFitnessPal works both ways, which allows users to import exercises or weight data from Samsung Health and then update MyFitnessPal, or vice versa, where you get like food, weight, and exercise from MyFitnessPal into Samsung Health as well, which that gets you data in both places, but that data can come from mobile to mobile app, Samsung Health to MyFitnessPal using the Android Health SDK. But that data also can come from the wearable, where you get data from wearable that flows to the Android app and then again flows to the other Android app and then to the wearable again. So this integration works really cool if I'm using, say, Samsung Health on my Galaxy Watch Active 2 for my steps and my exercise. I get that data flown into MyFitnessPal, where I can see my exercise goals get updated, my calorie goal gets updated because I did that extra exercise, and I can see that transferred over to the wrist. So I'll take a look at my calorie goal and see like, hey, I earned an extra snack today, which is really cool. So whether you're using MyFitnessPal or Samsung Health, you get that really cool picture of your nutrition goals, and either you're eating pizza or oatmeal, it doesn't really matter what it is. MyFitnessPal and Samsung Health together break down your nutrition information, keeps you on track with your goals, and highlights all your improvements. Now, the next thing I want to talk about that Jongsang mentioned a little bit earlier is something we're really excited about, and that's the Samsung Galaxy Watch Active 2 Under Armour Edition, which we've built in a close partnership with Samsung. And combining that UA edition with our Under Armour Hover connected shoes, so that's smart shoes that Under Armour builds, we've really built a really cool connected running ecosystem and experience that can make all runners better. So, and also with that connected running experience, we integrate with Samsung Health. So we can get awesome running data like distance, pace, and cadence directly into Samsung Health. Now, how does this all work? Well, users can connect their Hover connected shoes to MapMyRun on their UA edition with Bluetooth Low Energy. So in real time, you can get data like stride length and cadence from the shoes that gets updated on the watch as you're running. And then using MapMyRun on the UA edition, you can track your workouts and start getting coaching on your running form. You can also set goals that are going to help coach you towards your pace, distance, and duration goals, and just continuously log workouts with the UA edition. Those workouts get saved to MapMyRun, and from MapMyRun, those workouts then get transferred over to Samsung Health. So you can see all the data moved over to Samsung Health. You can see the aggregates for distance, duration, and pace data, as well as the cadence data that came originally from that connected shoe. So we can see the data flow all the way there. And with all that info, you can get a really detailed picture of your running and in Samsung Health using the connected running ecosystem. And similar to the integration with MyFitnessPal, the data flows in both ways from both Samsung Health and MapMyRun. All that exercise data goes on both platforms. So whether you're using Samsung Health on your mobile or you're using your MapMyRun on your UA edition, you can get great insights on your fitness journey in both applications on both platforms, mobile or wearable. And in the not-so-distant future, we're going to see that wearable SDK, so we can write data directly on the wrist to another app, so Samsung Health to MapMyRun, MapMyRun to Samsung Health directly on the wearable device, which is super cool, and I'm excited about that. So to talk a little bit more about that and how this integration works a little deeper, I'll pass it back over to Jongsang, who's the expert on this Samsung Health SDKs.
Thank you, Pedro. We are looking forward to continuing our partnership with Under Armour. The MyFitnessPal uses either mobile SDK and server SDK also. They have a service channel on mobile side and server side. Actually, problem is here. As I share in ecosystem slide, our health data on Samsung Health platform is synced together between mobile and server. It means to exact the same data is synchronized on the both sides. If the Under Armour MyFitnessPal read the data on mobile side and wearable side, and then they try to sync together, data duplication happens. So in this case, we give some guidelines to the partner. Our Samsung Health, every Samsung Health data has unique ID property. To using this property, partner have to check the data. Partner have to check if the data exists or not. If the data already exists, it should be ignored. Sorry. So if not, your service have a lot of same data point. Please be careful. This is last slide for SDK for wearable. Up to this point, a lot of data sharing is either mobile app to app and server-to-server integration. We've heard a lot of feedback requests from our partners for data sharing on the wearable side. So we're developing wearable SDK. We're developing Samsung Health SDK for wearable. You can make your watch face with the Samsung Health data and enhance your wearable app also. We plan to make it public in the beginning of next year. That's it. Thank you for attention. It's time to, okay, thank you. It's time to Q&A time. Please let me know if you have any questions. Okay, yes, please.
Some of this data is maybe considered medical data, particularly like glucose monitors. Do you comply with HIPAA requirements?
Yes. Yeah.
Hello.
Actually, yeah.
So some of the data is actually considered medical data, the glucose readings, et cetera. Do you comply with HIPAA requirements in the U.S. for the server storage and the device storage?
Actually, great question. You asked me about medical data or policy. Yeah. Actually, we are now a medical app. So we have health record data types, but when the data from the hospital or server, that data will be changed in some wellness information, even if the data is medical characteristic. So it means the data is not possible to use at the hospital. Okay?
Hi, question about the Under Armour relationship. I was just wondering from both parties, the integration looks fantastic. What are the benefits to the businesses of that integration and that partnership?
For Android or?
For both Samsung and Under Armour, have you seen high levels of engagement there? Have you seen more customers come on board? What's been the outcome?
So the combination of our brands together is just something really powerful. Under Armour always has had that sort of authenticity in the fitness space, and we're also part of the tech space. So working with a big partner like Samsung gives us some of their credibility as we're building these really cool, innovative technologies. So we can work together for us to bring kind of that like fitness authenticity, Samsung bringing that sort of tech authenticity, so we can build a really cool product together. And yeah, we do see a lot of like engagement on, we have similar user bases that kind of work together. So that integration with Samsung Health, we can see a lot of, good retention and users that like using both of our platforms.
Okay.
All the data that is collected in Samsung Health, could we take for granted that that data could be used for anything? You listed like Dexcom as a partner, and I know that Dexcom is very restrictive with how their data is being used and only share their data with specific partners. So if you would have that data in Samsung Health, then you kind of unleash that data for anybody to use. So my original question then, can the data be pulled from Samsung Health be used for anything?
I think, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, he's my boss.
Hi. I work with Jongsang. Great question. So I think, and the first question was also about medical data. The way we look at it is that, first of all, the answer is no. So the user determines how their data is going to be used. So just because it's in Samsung Health doesn't mean now is unleashed to, for potential misuse. The notion of HIPAA is doesn't apply to Samsung Health because it's once the data is out of, for example, medical systems, and that's the user initiated, and the data comes into Samsung Health, and that becomes a personal health record, which is not under the purview of HIPAA. In terms of sharing data, we're very conscious of with whom we share. So in this case, for example, with Under Armour, it's a very, very tight integration. So we only share data that the user allows us to share. So we're very, very conscious about what data we share with whom for what purpose. And of course, we try to make that as clear as possible so that users don't get confused. And then of course, we provide ways to revoke that permission. So hopefully that answers your question. I figured Jongsang was not going to be able to, answer that. So
Yeah.
yeah. Right. Yeah.
Similar, so it sounds like, just to summarize with you, what he said, if you do some transformation of data to remove some of the, just GCM data or CGM data, you probably have to, I know it's not in that setting, you're not a government entity or a PA, but do you sign a PAA? It's like, to use this, if we were to use it as a medical, like an RPM company or something like that, that's what we are, we're an RPM.
So I think a great comment. I think there's many ways we can look at how the data should flow, both inbound and outbound. So for example, the example of Dexcom is that we are getting the data and displaying it. So that's the end of sort of the journey of that particular piece of data. In terms of data flowing out of Samsung Health, we have to look at what the potential use of that data is going to be. So for example, one of the examples that Jongsang mentioned about the wall story, B2B type of service, they take step count. But even step counts, we look at, hey, what are you going to use the step count for? So for example, is it going to be used unfairly? So if somebody's taking 100 steps per day versus 10,000, is there going to be unfair use of that data? So we try to be very careful about the application of the data. Sorry, Jongsang.
Thank you, Jay. Okay. Thank you for attention too. Actually, we have one more homework. Please feel free to rate my session. Thank you, everyone.